10, and we're going to do some analysis of a document. And before we even get into this excerpt here, I'm looking at the top. It's 1872, so I'm going to think about what's going on there. This is in Rochester, New York. So now we get the region. Susan B. Anthony. Sounds like somebody who might be important. And this is an excerpt from her trial. So she's on trial. She did something wrong.
She voted illegally, apparently.
Voted illegally. So that must mean that she's not allowed to vote.
Yep. And her name is Susan.
So she's a woman.
Yeah.
So
we're 7 years removed from the American Civil War.
Right. That's where I was going with this.
We are 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment,
yep.
Abolishing slavery. Born in the country, you're a citizen with equal protection under the law. Citizens have the right to vote as long as you are a man.
Right.
You know, the women's suffrage movement had begun before this.
1848.
You know,
Also
Seneca
in New York.
Falls,
Yep.
Seneca Falls Convention. Susan B. Anthony was a part of that.
So we're 20 years into this movement.
Yes, and I would imagine there's some, I don't want to say anger or resentment, but there's certainly some feelings of animosity among women.
Oh, sure.
You know, because they've been fighting for the right to vote for 20 years, and now all of a sudden slaves have been freed, made citizens, and given the right to vote because they're men. So the feelings here among women in this country were, why not us?
It's interesting that you
Not that
said
they weren't,
feelings.
again, not that they
Yeah.
weren't happy that more people are being enfranchised with the right of suffrage. Suffrage is a good thing.
Right.
But here we are. And the fact that this is a trial, I like to point out. You know, have you ever seen like Law and Order?
Of course.
There's always that person typing away.
Dun, dun. Yeah.
You know, the stenographer.
Oh, yeah.
So this is word for word what was being said. Where many times, sometimes it's like trying to recall conversations.
Yeah.
No, this is exactly what was being said at the trial.
And now the funny thing is, you bringing up feelings, right? You know, and how they get. You know, you wonder at one point, you know, because when you're looking at a situation like this, there's a lot of emotions that you might be feeling. You're annoyed, you're ticked off, you're angry, you're raging. You wonder at what point where they're at. You kind of get a good idea once you get to here as to how bold they're going to be. So here we go. This is Judge Hunt. Judge Hunt says the prisoner will stand up. Miss Anthony rose again. The sentence of the court is that you pay a fine of $100 and the cost of the prosecution. Here's what she had to say, and good for her. May it please your honor, I shall never pay $1 of your unjust penalty. All the stock and trade I possess is a $10,000 debt incurred by publishing my paper, The Revolution, 4 years ago. The sole object of which was to educate all women to do precisely as I have done, rebel against your man-made, unjust, unconstitutional forms of law that tax, fine, imprison, and hang women while they deny them the right of representation in the government. And I shall work on with might and main to pay every dollar of that honest debt, but not a penny shall go to this unjust claim. And I shall earnestly and persistently continue to urge all women to the practical recognition of the old revolutionary maxim, that resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. Madam, the court will not order you committed until the fine is paid. And at this point, she probably dropped the mic and walked out. So,
That's a mic drop moment in American history.
yeah, she's not annoyed,
Nope.
not frustrated.
Nope.
She is raging, mad, ready to, and I'm sure when she stormed out,
There's so
maybe
many like
kicked the door.
gestures I'd like to make right now
Oh,
that like
sure,
would synonymously go with what she's feeling right now.
Absolutely.
I guess the best one I could do is from Friends.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
Like-
that's her at that moment. So the thing is, when looking at these documents, you know, I think when we look at them, what we're trying to get across to students is that, well, what did women do to try and get the right to vote? And you get a lot of it out of this. You know, she voted illegally. She's educating other women. She's publishing a paper that's educating women. She's resisting. She's protesting. You know, all these
And
things
I would
like
call this protest a type of nonviolent protest.
Absolutely.
You know, a civil disobedience. You know, marking the bringing a term from the civil rights movement.
Yep.
You know that. Yeah, she's breaking the law,
Sure.
but she's not doing it in a let's throw all the tea into Boston Harbor
Right.
kind of way. Good for her.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost feel like I know her now, and I really want to hang out with her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, of course, when we're looking at the suffrage movement, you know, this wasn't just, you know, if women had just went, hey, we want to vote, please, it would have never happened.
No.
Because they had probably tried that at one point. So there was
And this is still 48 years before they actually get the right to vote.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately, Susan B. Anthony isn't alive to see
Yeah.
national women's suffrage.
Right.
She is alive to see various states
Sure.
granting women the right to vote in state elections, but national suffrage doesn't take place until 1920.
So, again, they got organized. The National Women's Suffrage Association. There you
There she
have
is.
Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony. Don't, it's like one of those things, it's like, they look like two nice old ladies. I would not,
Want to mess with it?
I would
this
not
is-
underestimate
this,
it.
this is her in like 1910.
this is not,
40 years later after she
she's probably
was.
still whoop you.
Yeah, and this is why every election day in
Yeah.
Rochester, New York, where
I
she
love
is
that.
buried,
Yeah, they
you
put
know,
this-
women will show up with their "I voted" stickers and put it on Susan B. Anthony's grave as an homage to the work that the first suffragette of
It's one of the nicest things, especially in
movement.
recent elections. Everything's like, it's been toxic. But the one thing that they do go to in the news that is nice is people lining up, putting that. I think that is so cool. To put
They actually had to
on
cover
tombstone.
it this year
Yes.
in a plastic covering because the glue from the stickers was causing the tombstone to disintegrate. Yeah.
That's an awesome place. All right, again, this is what they did. There was the protest, getting organized, educating women, petitions, going and talking to their legislatures, and again,
Hunger
eventually.
strikes like Alice Paul.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Eventually, this will lead to the 19th Amendment. That's going to be passed in 1919, giving them the right to vote. But when you get down to it, if you're looking at it, this movement starts in 1848 to 1919. That is a long time, really long time. We miss anything?
Nope.
Good. Thanks for watching.